Hey guys, I'm back with a new review video. We are going to be comparing the Team Associated MT12 monster truck with the Kyosho Phaser FZ02L, I believe it's called. They're two completely different monster trucks. One is a 12 scale, one is a 10 scale. However, they are only half an inch apart in size, so it's not like a massive scale difference. The Associated is a ready to run. The Kyosho is a ready to run. The Associated comes with a battery and charger, with one caveat. The Kyosho does not come with a battery and charger. Now, there is something very important to know between these two. One is a 380 size motor, one is a 540 size motor. One is a solid axle with 4-link front and rear suspension. The other is an independent front and rear suspension with your standard tub chassis style. They are completely different in every aspect other than the fact that they are nearly the same size, and they both come in at just $219.99. So for less than $220, what can you get for your special someone for Christmas this year? We're going to be looking at these two monster trucks, putting them head to head against basically anything that we can throw at them. This will be a multi-part series that we cannot wait for you to join us on. It's going to be pretty exciting as we go through every aspect of these vehicles, from what they're like out of the box, what they can handle, what they can take, the speed, the handling, what they're best for, what they're fun for, indoor, outdoor, which one's better for either. Are they good for both? We're going to check and see which ones have better hop-ups and upgrades, which one has more aftermarket support, as well as one very important thing, in my opinion, which one is the most durable. Because we are talking about getting these for our kids, and so we want to make sure that these have the ability to withstand some major abuse, because who knows that we can drive an RC car just fine. We can play with them. We can literally jump them over the roofs of houses, land them on the wheels, and keep on driving with maybe just a broken arm. Kids can destroy stuff surprisingly fast. So we're going to see what we can do with that guy. So here, as you can see, is the Team Associated MT12 Monster Van. This is actually pretty awesome. The reason I went with the Monster Van, the Mad Van, is because who doesn't like a good old 80s conversion van monster truck? Because they're just kind of ridiculous. So as you can see here on the box, it tells you what it comes with. This was the thing that really surprised me. I knew it came with the battery and charger, but it comes with a 850 milliamp, kind of small, lithium ion, kind of safe, good for kids. That really caught me off guard. As much as I'm a LiPo guy, and as much as I say LiPo is a better battery, because it is, it has more power, having a lithium-ion battery in something that is $219 that's going to be made for your kids is about as safe as the old days when we put nickel metal hydride batteries in things. Lithium-ion, unless you really smash and puncture it, it is very hard for it to explode. The thing about lithium-ion is it's not like lithium polymer, and they're in usually hard cases, and so usually they're hard metal cases. So this right here is what you get on the box. It tells you all about it. It tells different things. All right, so this is basically as high as I can get you on my tripod stand here, and you can tell that you are leaning. So we're not going to have you up here for very long. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what comes in this box. Now, I have already gotten into this just to make this a little bit simpler, because it is zip tied down. It has a sheeting over here, and there's a couple bags inside here that things are in. So I went ahead and got into some of that just so that this is some more simple for you. So I'm going to do that on every review video. That way you're not seeing all the packaging that is protective, but doesn't need to be in the video. So anyway, here's the MT12 monster truck. As you can see, it's actually pretty awesome. I did go ahead and order the light set for it, because one of the things I noticed when I pulled it out is that these headlight and taillight buckets are actually hard plastic buckets. They are designed to hold an LED light. So went ahead and ordered the LED light, and that is on its way. So I'm going to set this aside. Another thing I went ahead and pulled out of the box is that little 850 milliamp lithium ion battery. I went ahead and set this aside because I like to keep these in my battery bags. So there's that. It does come with your manual. As you can see here, it's got all the parts in there, all the part numbers you need. There are some pop-up and additional parts that it doesn't have in here, but it does tell you on the back. Just go to the website to find those part numbers. It's actually very easy to find those. It's just under parts and accessories on Associated's webpage. Comes with the manual for the transmitter. Comes with the setup sheet for the brush speed controller, which is the WP1265 or 1625, which, believe it or not, is up to 3S capable, which is just astonishing to me that this 380 motor can hold a 3S battery. I don't know that I would try it, but it's there. And then last but not least, we have the associated catalog of fun stuff. You got the crawlers in there, some of the race cars, the monster trucks, and of course their Reedy brushless motors, which we all come to love, factory team parts. The rest of it is in this box, and in here you have another box, and you have the transmitter, which I already pulled out and did put 4 AA batteries in it, which it does not come with. You will need those. And then we'll get in this box. And that, and this battery, is all that's in this big giant box. This is the battery charger that it comes with. It just charges off the balance port. Has that guy there, made in Shantou Jinlongji, as you can see right there for yourself. This is just a basic charger. Now, being a lithium ion, it does have to be in LiPo mode for this to operate. So I'm assuming you would charge this on a LiPo setting. I'm not 100%. It does go to 7.4 volts, just like a normal 2-cell LiPo does. So I'm going to say that most likely it can be charged on a LiPo, though it says use lithium ion specific chargers. So I am going to use this one to charge this battery. And then it comes with this bag with your bind plug, the 2 tools you're going to need to work on this, which is a 2mm and a 1.5, and an extra battery strap. Now, the thing that I thought was interesting is why an extra battery strap? Well, there is something I picked up for this that you are going to like. This guy right here. 1600 milliamp Reedy Wolfpack with the Dean's 2-cell LiPo, which is nice in a hard case, is actually the other compatible battery with this vehicle. So that is awesome. So I'm going to drop you back down. We're going to take the body off and take a look at what we got here. All right, we're back down here to a fairly low setting on my janky $10 tripod, which I obviously need to get a new one because this thing it's a little sketchy. Let's go ahead and open this bag because we probably will, I'm assuming, run this LiPo in here at some point sooner than later. Because let's face it, we all know that lithium ion and lithium polymer are the same voltage, but not the same amperage. What is that? You ever wear a shirt throughout the day and you realize something when you go to record yourself or take a picture and you're like, how long was that there? That is literally a piece of Kleenex, which means that it could have came from one of my kids because it's allergy season. I think I've said this on here before, but I have 5 kids. Yeah, the oldest one's 6.5. Yeah, so these things are going to get tortured because I am going to let some of them drive them just to see what kind of abuse they can take from kids. So let's get back to products here. Team Associated XP120 transmitter, just like what comes in the Pro 2 SC10 ready to run. This is a very nice transmitter for a ready-to-run transmitter. The spring in here is a little on the soft side. That's the only negative I would really say about them. And the big gap here, and the big gap here. They are a little tough for kids to drive, but they can get it done, figured out. Has your throttle and steering reverse, dual rate, throttle endpoint adjustment, as well as steering trim and throttle trim. So very important things. It's actually really nice that it has that on there. Not a lot of transmitters do. Okay, truck. Van, not truck. Monster van. Monster vans. So here is the monster van. Let's get a good up close look at that. You can see there is that nice hardened link there going up to the steering. This is plastic. As you can see, I can flex it really, really well. I am assuming that they did that as a secondary servo saver, even though there's a servo saver on the servo. You can see right there that big servo saver. But that just gives it another flex point so that it's one less thing in the steering that kids can break. It is solid axle. The thing that I'm most surprised about is it does have aluminum 4-link suspension on the front and the rear, which is just incredible. Like $300 axials don't even come with aluminum links on them. And I used to be a huge axial guy. I thought axials were one of the best crawlers ever. Speaking of crawlers, you notice that there is rails here for the Nerf bars. There is a very similar look to a crawler chassis. It's because it is a crawler chassis. It is the old CR12, I shouldn't say old, it is the Associated CR12 12 scale crawler chassis, very similar to that of the Enduro 12 from Element, also owned by Associated. They are very formidable little chassis. Basically all they did was they took the coil springs and they just spun it all the way down so that they were really stiff and compressed. They put monster truck tires on it and this big body and said, here's a monster truck. So if you want a crawler out of it, all you gotta do is spin these up, put crawler tires on it, and a crawler body. And you can have a monster truck and a crawler anytime you want. That part of it, I think, is super awesome. It is cool to see that there is things that you can do to this to make it more than just what it is. You can make it a solid axle monster truck or a crawler. Okay, so let's get back into it. We got hard plastic front bumper, grill, and light bezels, which are part of the Lexan body, so they do have some flex to them. Same with the rear, hard plastic bumper with the hard plastic tail lights, lenses that can hold the LEDs. There is actually a really cool decal set on this. I'm actually pretty shocked at how nice this actually is. For $219, and I mean, Team Associated has always done really great stuff, but I'm kind of blown away with the quality of this, to be quite honest. The tires are surprisingly very soft. Size-wise, as you can see here, it's about the size of two heads. I mean, I got a big head, but it is a great size for indoor. Hopefully its speed is also good for indoor and outdoor. I'm assuming that it is because of the 380 motor that's in here, which you can kind of see right there. So let's go ahead and take the lid off and see what we're working with underneath. For body clips, I do like that they give you bent body clips because bent body clips are so much easier to take off and on. And there's the inside of your body. You can see those light bezels there where you can put those lights in, so you get that nice headlight and taillight effect. It's pretty awesome. The mirrors are hard plastic as well. I don't know if I showed you that, but the mirrors are hard plastic. I have a feeling those aren't going to last all that long. Hopefully the light bezels do. I hope. Here is body off. Now the actual CR12 crawler had a battery tray right here that was only for this 850 milliamp battery to sit in here like so. I really like how this chassis is set up, because this chassis is set up with the battery tray over the front axle. If you know anything about crawling, you want all the weight to be over the front axle so that you can get that climb. You basically have a CR12 with a front weight bias that you can throw crawler tires on and have a fun little crawler, like I said. But not only that, one that has a front weight bias that the CR12 didn't have. Pretty cool little thing. You got just a basic brushed ESC here from Reedy that you just have the little tab that you just slide over between lithium and nickel metal. Not a big deal there, super basic and simple. You got a 380 motor, zip-tied wires to the frame, which is easy to replicate when you change the motor out. T-plug or Dean style plug, depending on who you're talking to. Standard on-off switch. XPR4 receiver. I do not believe is waterproof, but it does have the extra channels here for doing the light attachment as well, so for that LED. So you don't have to get any extra receivers. You can just plug right into this one for that light. And here is how that LiPo fits in here. As you can see right there, it does give it quite a bit bigger battery and gives you that front weight bias right over the front axle, enough that it tilts quite a bit forward in my hand if I'm holding it on the center point. So that will give you a very good crawler ability if you want to use this as a crawler as well. Servo's the basic Reedy 0415 servo. Not sure if it's a Metal Gear. It is a digital servo, so that's pretty awesome. I have to look up and see what all that servo has, if it's Metal Gear or not. It doesn't say in here. It does have open differentials. I haven't looked to see yet, but I'm hoping that they have lockers for that, because giving this a locked differential would be awesome. It does have pretty nice little slide axles here underneath. They are spline slide axles, just like you would see on an axial or equivalent crawler. Slightly different than like an axial or something like that is the pumpkins. You can see there's no screws going around the pumpkin. You actually do have to take the outdrive cups extensions off and then take off these 4 screws on the back side of the pumpkin here. And then the pumpkin moves, unbolts from the back side basically, but it still comes apart in 2. That is a little bit of an odd thing. Does have steel eyelets for the links and the shocks, which is really nice, and it does have steel hexes, which is also really nice. So, and those are those big offset hexes for those monster truck tires. The other thing that's really kind of cool about this is the fact that it has threaded shocks. A lot of things that you see that are ready to run don't have threaded shocks. These are still all plastic threaded shocks, but they're at least threaded. So you can soften them up, you can stiff them up just by simply threading them down. You can make it nice and stiff or really soft like this side is. I would say if there's anything that I didn't like about this particular vehicle, it is that it comes with a waterproof ESC, a brush motor, which we know water's fine. It doesn't have a waterproof steering servo, and it doesn't have a waterproof receiver. I kind of wish this was waterproof, because if you want to be realistic with the monster truck, you really got to get into some mud. Well, mud takes water. Water shorts out stuff that's not waterproof. So some waterproof receiver and servo would be nice, but at $219, I don't think you can really ask for a whole lot more. Let's see what the Kyosho has when it gets here in a couple of days and compare the two. You'll see them both side by side in this video. It's going to be exciting to see them for sure. In a couple of days, we'll have those. Until then, I'm out. So until next time, keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up, and remember to stay in the group.